Hi Thomas, hope you're well. Just wondering, any team news ahead of tomorrow's game?
Um, Everyone ready for the Fulham squad is ready for Newcastle tomorrow.
And you were very strong after the Fulham match about the booing directed at your goalkeeper. Having had a day to reflect on that, what is your message to the supporters now ahead of tomorrow's game?
Um, that we, as I said after the game, completely, understand the frustration that if we don't win, there will always be a frustration. So that's normal. It's part of it, and also when we haven't won as much as we won at home, not only this year but also the last long period. I don't know how long that is. Maybe years, maybe more. So of course, then the frustration maybe can grow a little bit more. So that's understandable. It's my job to do what I can to make sure we are calm and look at the things in a way where we split things up in terms of performance, what is impacting in how we try to do to build the team. Um, so yeah, I think that's part of it, and we would like to do. As we are nothing without the fans. This club, no club is anything without the fans. Tottenham Hotspur, we are nothing without our fantastic fans. Nothing. So we need each other. We want them. There's nothing we want more than making them happy in every way. And my point was that during matches, that's where we need each other. After, fair, fair with the booing, but during, that's where I want to create a fortress. I think some of you guys probably have a even more, how can I say, up-to-date stat in terms of how many games we won or lost or draw the last couple of years. But if any club want to be successful, you need to create a fortress. If you want to create a fortress, it can only be together, fans, team. My job is to make sure that we do everything we can to perform, but can we do that together? That's where you create a very difficult place to play. Yeah.
And you mentioned results there not really going your way in the last week or so. You've often spoken about staying calm during those difficult spells. What's the message to the players? How are you keeping them calm?
We of course have meetings yesterday and today, and yesterday of course like normal debriefing the Fulham game, and today looking more forward to Newcastle. There'll be some meetings tomorrow. I said from the beginning we want to build something sustainable that can compete in all tournaments, and we have a squad that is learning to learn from last year, playing Premier League and Europa League. Going into this year where we're playing in the Champions League, and I want to do well in the Premier League. That competing on both fronts, that's something that takes some time to learn physically and mentally. We're searching to find the right formula that will click, while we have to rotate some players to keep freshness, keep the intensity high, look a little bit at how can I say, injury risk and stuff like that. As a good example, this period we're in now, we play four fantastic games with in 10 days times. So there's two days between the games as the only of the five Champions League clubs. Probably fair to say, probably with a squad that is not as used to it as the others. No problem. That's just why we are learning along the way. And we also had a spell early in the season. I think it was Everton. Was it Newcastle as well? Chelsea and Copenhagen. Ours was also 2-2-2. It was only us and Arsenal that had that. So the fact is, if you have 2 days between times, it's just more complicated. It's not impossible. We still need to perform. We still need to win matches. It's just facts.
And you've mentioned over the past couple of weeks as well about different players for different games. I know you get asked it a lot, but what does Xavi Simons need to show you to earn a few more minutes? And can we expect to see him starting tomorrow or in this busy period?
Yeah, of course. There's a reason why we got Xavi here. I think he's a very good player in every aspect. Xavi have trained well the last couple of days, and in general training well. And I think also that, I think we talked about before, it's not the first time a player is stepping into the Premier League, and that just need a little bit of adaptation to hit the ground running, and then that's one thing in the physical league, but also to play games every third or fourth day, and then in a team that's maybe not top in sync. So how can we help each other? That's part of the process.
Hi, Thomas. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
A couple of questions about Newcastle, please. First of all, how impressive have you been with them? Their performances against Man City, against Everton recently, and obviously the timing of facing them tomorrow away from home.
No, Newcastle are good. I think they've been good for a long time since Eddie Howe took over. I said that before. Admire Eddie and his coaching staff and everything they do massively. They're a very intense team, very aggressive, and speaking about having a good home record and a good that's a difficult place to go to. Everyone knows that. I think they won the last 6 home games, so perfect timing. So good, but not unbeatable.
And a specific question about Nick Woltemade. How impressed have you been with his ability to adapt into the demands of the Premier League and to step into the very big shoes of Alexander Isak?
Yeah, definitely. They're 2 different players, but Nick Woltemade had done very well. He got the physicality, but also I think he offers something different. He's also good to drop down to link the game for them. That's why he offers something a little bit different. I think the way he attacked the box, I think he does that very well, finding good positions.
I can ask you about your goalkeeper Vicario, but more from a positive perspective.
Yeah.
We see players in the past, when they make big mistake, they try not to go and speak to the media, maybe to hide a little bit. With him, it's the other way around. After the Fulham game, he spoke to the media. He put in a statement as well on social media. How much it shows about Vicario's personality, his character, and how important he is as a leader in your dressing room?
Vic is remarkable. His character is fantastic in every aspect. I think it's about how you carry yourself every day, in good times and bad times, and he's very consistent in that way. I think everyone knows that everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes on the football pitch, outside football, or whatever we do. But the way he carries himself, that impressed me very, very much. And his, I think, also responds to setbacks and also mistakes. I think he does that, very well.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Very well. In terms of fans booing, I understand what you're saying, wait to the end, but some fans don't stay to the end of the game, and some fans want to let the players know what they're feeling, how they're feeling, and when they're feeling it, maybe during a game. Should everybody not be allowed their opinion whenever they want?
Yes, just like I'm allowed my opinion wherever I want. So I think it's fair. I'm just saying what I think. I'm like, can't say it enough. We have some fantastic fans. We're nothing without the fans. We need them, every aspect, and they are very much allowed to be disappointed. No problem. I'm just saying when you play a match at home, it is not as helpful as it is when they can see they're driving the team forward, for example. And of course, it's up to us to do everything we can to perform. So it's just going hand in hand. But the beautiful thing about football and life is never straightforward.
And I know you don't read social media, but Pedro Porro posted on social media about Saturday and the
That one I
supporters.
read because my good friend over here sent it to me.
Okay.
He said it was probably a good idea to read that before I went into the beautiful day with you guys here.
So what did you think of it, and do you think he should have posted that?
Second, what do I think
What
about
did you think of his social media, and should he have done it?
I think it's fair, when I think it's fair in that sense. Again, the players, they are individual people that they can have their own opinions, and I think he was. I think what he put out there was fair in every aspect.
Finally, you know how fickle football is. You go and win at Newcastle, go and win at the weekend. Suddenly, you're the greatest manager this football club's ever had. It's the greatest set of players this club's ever had. Lose them both, and the opposite is true. So, how do you stay calm? How do you not let things boil over? I know you've got the 24-hour rule, but in terms of with you and with your players, how do you try and keep things now on an even keel, or what is a difficult point?
I think it's how can I say? I think we of course searching to not so to I can say find the winning formula, because it's, let's say, 3 different games we played. We played away to Arsenal. That was a bad performance. Away to Paris, that was a good performance. We lost both, and then we play a freak game against Fulham where we down 2 after 6 minutes. So, but especially in the PSG and especially in the Fulham, there was some good performances. It's all about keep going back to that, keep going back to what we can affect, the processes, how we train, the principles, and then keep the energy with the players, or for the players, and then go again. That's the only way out of it. Of course, it's in a tough period. It's easier when you win, but when you don't, you need to do the same. Thank you.
Hi there, Thomas. You said after the game that you would speak to Vic afterwards. I just wondered, how did that go, and kind of in general, how do you speak to someone that's experienced what he went through?
Yeah, I spoke with him after the game, and I said, yeah, how are you? And he said he was okay. You can say there's different types. I think Vic is a relatively, how can you say, good player to deal with setbacks like that and move forward. Others maybe would have hit harder. Also think if you are a goalkeeper, unfortunately, I don't think there's any goalkeeper in the world except, and I can say that because I know him, Peter Schmeichel, that never thought he made a mistake, but probably did sometimes. But that can also be a way of dealing with it. But you know you make mistakes, and how you deal with that is a big part of how good you become as, let's say, a goalkeeper, but also actually as a player.
You mentioned that just there about Vic then going out in the next action and getting the ball and clearing it that time, and showing that strength of character. I mean, you want your players to take risks. How important is it that they feel that they can make mistakes and not suffer a reaction like that?
I think it's hugely important, because every game, every player make small mistakes. There can be a bad clear. Some can be the crucial goal-defining mistakes that everyone can see, but there's always small mistakes in the game where you lose the ball, where you miss a touch, where you miss a clearance, where you miss a 1v1, and you sometimes don't get punished well enough. But how can you keep going no matter what in a game?
You and Pedro both use the same expression about true Spurs fans. I think you said they're not true Spurs fans if they do that, and Pedro said he loves the true Spurs fans. Have you got any kind of fear that might fire up fans even more, those frustrated to kind of being told maybe they're not true Spurs fans?
I don't know. And you can say, how do you define a true Spurs fan? I think all the fantastic fans we have believe they're true Spurs fans. Some react in one way, some react in another, some one a little bit in between. No matter what, we need all of them.
Hi, Thomas. I think you mentioned earlier about having 4 games in 10 days, and it's the second time that's happened. How much does that impact what you and the coaching staff can sort of teach the players about what you're trying to do?
Yeah, of course, extremely. And even if you have that extra day, that's just give you a day more to recover. But of course, with 2-2-2 is very limited what you can coach, and how many meetings and how much individual time you can have with the players, because it's just pure recovery as well. But again, it's just the way it is. We need to find a way. I think the more bits it also impact is that if you want to kind of find a little bit of a how can you say, I think every good teams they found out they have 7, 8, 9 players that plays when it's the top matches, if that makes sense. And that, of course, we're searching to find what is the thing that can click, and that's we can't do it all the time, because we also need to rotate to make sure we have enough intensity and freshness.
That does make sense, thank you. You've obviously used different tactical approaches this season. Is the long-term plan to eventually settle and focus and develop one particular system?
For me, it's always the guiding principles that is the most important thing. How we build up. If it's, what do we do when we split centre backs? What do we do? We have a sitter, 2 sitters. What do we do with the position in front of that? And how do we attack with play and run on the side? how do we press, and that will always more or less be the same, no matter if you play a 4-3-1, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 3-4-3, whatever. So there's always the guiding principles. It's about how you can get the best players on the pitch that make the teams the best way.
The defence was obviously a really important area for you to improve when you first took over, and at the beginning of the season it looked really well. I think that's 13 goals conceded in the last 4 games. Is there anything you've noticed why it's maybe not looking as good at the moment, the defence?
You can say the 4 goals you conceded against Man United and Fulham is some of the goals I would like to avoid a bit more. Also those 2 games, if you can see at the actual amount of shot we conceded, I think we conceded 5 shots and 7 shots. It's very low. If you can see the XG, you can see those games are very low. So the other stats behind it was good, and then there's 2 other results where we conceded too much against 2, unfortunately, 2 of the best teams in the world.
Finish the section with George, please.
Hi, Thomas. How do sort of yourself and the players kind of mend this relationship with the fans? It feels kind of a real sort of tipping point now, where you do need them, but you feel like it also feels like you kind of lost a lot of them, yourself and the players.
I think if we go into every game, I'm pretty sure every fan wants to win and wants to support and wants to do everything. And then, if not going to plan, then maybe some get more frustrated than others. And again, I think there's always some that shout louder than others. So I don't think fans, when you say you lose the fans, how many is that? 5%, 10%, 15, 20? How much is it? I don't know. We would like to get all 100% on board. And there's only, there's 2 things we can do. We can perform and keep connect.
And would you kind of consider sort of speaking to fan groups, or you see in different countries kind of the players talk to fans sort of after a game? It's not very common in England, but would you kind of consider stuff like that to try and mend this relationship?
I'll consider a lot of things that I don't know. I think there's two ways. That's performing and connecting. And connecting is a lot of things. I, in general, always believe in dialogue, but we are privileged. We have a lot of fans, so there'll be a lot we need to reach out to.